Wow, every time I see this picture, I can hear your voice, Mr. Farnsworth.
What? Speak up. I can't hear you.
Who am I? The one over there, to your extreme right. 16 years old and plenty of attitude. Good evening, I'm Miranda Wilson. Way back in 1974, somebody dared me to audition for Shakespeare's Twelfth Night. And much to my surprise, I got a little callback for the role of Maria, the feisty maid. Now, I've never told anyone this before, except for maybe my mom. But before playing this very first role in a play, my drama teacher, the man we honor here tonight, Mr. Rawley T. Farnsworth, asked my permission. He asked, did I mind playing the part of a maid? And I wasn't ready, even at 16 years old, to play a part of a maid. But Mr. Farnsworth, in his very own way, said, honey, this maid is different. And he told me, Miranda, you have a big, sexy voice and a feisty, smart personality, and I want you to put that personality into the role of Maria. You know, act well your part, therein lies the glory. Well, the glory I received back in those days was Best Supporting Actress for my role as Maria. Well, since then, Mr. Farnsworth, the woman with the big sexy voice and the feisty personality, went on to be a founding member of the San Francisco Shakespeare Festival and a voiceover actress. And every day I use this big sexy voice to the best of my ability on Smooth Jazz KKSF 103.7 on the radio. For teaching me to be proud of my heritage and being the first person who taught me that it's okay to be sexy. Mr. Rawley T. Farnsworth, thank you, honey.
Came to Skyline High School in the fall of 1967. As I look back on that moment, the moment that I realized that Mr. Farnsworth was incredible, Rawley instilled in me a passion for the theater that burns as bright today as it did then, maybe brighter. I've had the opportunity to play wonderful roles on stage. I've had the excitement of acting in TV and film with the likes of Bill Macy. And I have known and continue to know the joy and the frustration of teaching and directing. And I hope that I can adhere to the standard that he set for being supportive, nurturing, and yet having a very high standard in terms of the quality of the productions and what he expected the students to bring to the productions that we were running. I really hope that in some small way that I might be an influence on others the way that he was and continues to be to me. I thank you, Rawley.
Farnsworth, John Whitty, class of 71. I had the privilege of working with you in 3 productions, as Loonta in The King and I, as Mordred in Camelot, and finally 1971 as Curly McLean in Oklahoma. They were great experiences and I really enjoyed it. And while I didn't go into entertainment, which is probably a great idea for everyone involved, I do actually use those skills in my day-to-day work in sales and marketing, most recently here at Microsoft. I'm delighted that they've done a renovation and are doing a dedication of the Skyline Theater. I think it's terrific, well-deserved. Congratulations and enjoy the evening.
Congratulations for having the theater named for you. I found my old thespian programs, and when I became a thespian, it was really a special day. And I became a thespian April 24th, 1970. And these are the programs that you made. So looking forward to seeing you, and congratulations.
This is a picture of me back in 1974 when my name was Bonnie Ballou, and also when I was young and skinny. I'm still making a fool of myself on stage, as you can see. I'm a playwright for Christian theater, and I also direct and do a little bit of choreography, which should make Mr. Katz happy. I'd like to tell Mr. Farnsworth that I learned more about drama from you than from any other single source. Thank you.
I was in Skyline's drama department. Mr. Farnsworth saw fit to give me 5 major roles, and so I had a generous opportunity to get to know his way of working the craft of acting. In all things, the goal was always professionalism. The submerging of one's own identity into that of a character, however, was invaluable experience for my later career as a classical concert pianist, where one must take the directions in the musical score from the composer himself, and, as Rawley the director used to often say, make the directions your own. Rawley was able to cast certain plays, also select certain plays, based on the resources at hand in his drama classes and also the tryout talent pool. To conclude, Mark Twain said, "When I was 18, I thought my old man knew nothing. When I was 28, I was surprised at what he'd learned in 10 years. Well, I would say that Rawley knew a lot of things then, and it seems to me that I appreciate his acumen even more now."
Hello, fellow thespians. This is Margaret Niven. I did the sets for South Pacific, including a model of Bali High. The following year, we did the same sets, but took the tropical plants and turned them into ivy for the college campus for Where's Charlie? I was in the secret affairs of Mildred Wild, and I got to call Mildred a bitch. I remember that was my big line, and Rawley and I had a discussion about whether or not I should swear in a high school production, and I came to a conclusion that it was really important to my character to say bitch. And I was in The Bald Soprano. I got the Skyline High School Best Supporting Actress Award that year. When I look back on the experience of being one of Rawley's students, all I feel is sympathy for him. Rawley, you were very patient, and I have a great deal of admiration for you. I'm very glad that you're being honored with this theater, and I wish we could honor all our wonderful teachers in such a great way, and you were certainly one of the best. Congratulations.
Hi, Mr. Farnsworth. Remember me? It's Susan Tilson. I want to thank you for casting my twin sister Sally and me in the musical, The Skyline. And an especially big thanks for casting me as Nellie Forbush in South Pacific. Of course, little did any of us know back then that I was Honey Bunny with a future Oscar winner. Performing in South Pacific is a huge memory for me and the highlight of my years at Skyline. Since then, I've lived in New York City for the past 22 years doing, guess what, musical theater. I've performed on Broadway and in many national tours in such shows as Fiddler on the Roof, Les Miserables, Anything Goes, Blood Brothers, and Falsettos. And I've worked with top directors like Jerome Robbins, Jerry Zaks, and James Lapine. But Mr. Farnsworth, you were my first. And I'll never forget sitting down with you to talk about my character, Nellie Forbush. And you wrote down in capital letters, acting equals reacting. And you know what? That's the best bit of advice I've ever gotten. Thank you, Mr. Farnsworth.
Being a thespian at Skyline meant being part of a unique community. For a brief and very intense time, we all came together with a common goal, to put on a show. We worked together, ate together, laughed together, and cried together. More than a few romances blossomed backstage. And after the show was over, we'd all go our separate way until the next production. Even though working on these plays kept me at school late, night after night, I never tired of it. I thank Mr. Farnsworth for teaching me that with dedication and hard work, nothing is impossible.
Hi, Mr. Farnsworth. This is Patty Hayes. And this is Vicki Fogel. We remember well when you arrived at Skyline High School. It was the fall of 1968. You transformed the small dressing room off the classroom stage into your private office, adding an air of sophistication by decorating it with current Broadway show posters. This was a portent of what was to come, a mentor who would transform us and be remembered throughout our lives.
We were thrilled when Tom Hanks acknowledged your influence in front of 50 million people at the Academy Awards. It wasn't 30 seconds later that folks from our era were on the phone to each other, adding our own acclaims about your influence on us.
Your classes were our favorites. Believe it or not, your instruction really did sink in, all of it. It was a privilege being a part of your productions. Harvey, The King and I, Barefoot in the Park, and Camelot. These were high points in our teen years. Thank you for sticking with us, putting up with our hijinks, and guiding us through some extraordinary theatrical experiences. Because of you, we continue to carry on a genuine love for the art of theater. Well, I guess so.
Thank you for being one of our most influential teachers, and congratulations on the new auditorium named in your honor. You deserve it.
Hi, I'm Trudy Stillwell Malone. In assembling this video, I realized there was very little commentary I could actually add. But I hope you realize now, Rawley, what an extraordinary teacher you were and how much you contributed to so many lives. You gave us the opportunity to extend ourselves into different characters and build our confidence and values through hard work and dedication. I know I wouldn't have accomplished half of what I've done without your early mentoring. You'll always hold a special place in my heart.